559 fights, middleweight champion, and hoping to soon be Camo State middleweight champion Joaquin Garcia. So
Sure.
we're here to discuss his not only his fighting career but his future aspirations, some things about him. So let's just get right into it today. So Joaquin, I'm pretty sure you've had a long day today. Pretty sure you're training and stuff like that, trying to work off those
Yeah.
Christmas calories. But
Yeah.
let's
For
get
real.
let's get into your upbringing a little bit. Let's get into your earlier. So you're from the Southern California area. You train
Yeah.
in Orange, California. So
Yeah.
how would you say you got into 559 fights? Because it's a good little drive. I mean, it's a good 4 hour drive. So how did you find out about it?
Actually, my coach Oyama, actually, he knows the promoter really well, or Jeremy. So he just said, "Yo, let's get over there and let's fight. I know these guys, great amateur promotion, and they have good fighters out there, a lot of good middleweights." So I was like, I'm down. I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely amazing. And from your wrestling career, just doing a little research on you, would you want to go into that a little bit more? Because I mean, you had an outstanding wrestling career, placing in state, I believe, a couple of times as
Yeah.
well. So would you say that's kind of what helped you transition into the MMA sport?
Yeah, like I always kind of knew I was gonna do MMA in the long run, but I was watching and I was like all these guys that are dominating in the MMA right now at the time were all wrestlers. So in high school I was like, okay, we're gonna wrestle, do as best as we can, but go straight to MMA after. So that was
Yeah.
pretty much the thing.
No, no, for sure. And I mean, it's transitioned well. I've watching a
Yeah.
couple of your fights. I'm just amazed at the way you're able to stick to people. You're like glue just on these guys as a
Yeah.
middleweight. And
The
I feel a
blanket.
lot of, yeah, I feel a lot of people undermine that. But as you were stating, your coach Okama, and you also fight with, a, oh my gosh, the name is escaping me right now. Um, out of, let me go ahead and you also, oh my gosh, you cite with Kings MMA. So
Yeah.
that's also in your bio. Sorry, I was trying to remember
Yeah.
because I had
No,
it down in
you're
my
good.
notes. Um, there's so many gyms, but yeah, no,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
fight with
there's a
Kings
lot.
MMA, but there's a pretty prevalent fighters that fight out of that gym as well. So would you say that fighting with those guys and maybe sparring with those guys, going ones on ones with them, has that helped you with your development against these guys that are in the amateurs? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that jump in competitions a drastic. You're going against professional to like some guys that are trying to make their way to professionals, and then you're just
Yeah.
fighting on an amateur night. Which obviously you're working your way up, and you've been fighting very well, but it's still. I mean, that's great practice. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, yeah. We have guys like Benil Darush, Neiman Gracie, and like Euros Medic. They're all like around my weight, and then I just try to grind. I know I'm gonna go out there. I don't like against Benil. I get smothered, but every time I try to get better, 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 better. So yeah, like Benil's like my we train a lot. We do a lot of jiu-jitsu. I train with Benil almost once a day at least. But every time I just try to get a little bit better and better and better because every dude, first time you think I'm a blanket. That guy doesn't let you breathe. He doesn't let you move. It's bad with that guy.
No, I can't even imagine. I mean, personally watching his last fight against Gamrot, that was a guy that a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, he's such a great grappler, such a great grappler," and he made him look like, I mean, not like a
Yeah,
bad grappler, but he was flipping him, he was putting him in all sorts of roles, and that just only like
yeah,
goes to attest his jujitsu and his skills. So. I mean, with those guys, you've also trained, I believe, Strickland trains over there, and Vittori. Those are two middleweights.
so I've trained with Strickland. He's not out of there anymore, but I've trained with him like
Oh, okay,
in the
nice.
COVID era. I trained with him for like 2 or 3 months. That guy's crazy. And then Vittori, I trained with him.
Yeah, no, Sean Strickland's definitely a different character, as many would say. But I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure training with those guys and just getting to spar with them or just even getting a roll with them, like that's huge and
yeah,
impactful on your career. But you know, for you as a fighter, you definitely have a timeline, I'm pretty sure, of where you want to be and what you want
Yeah.
to do as a fighter. So, what would you say is your ultimate timeline? What would you say is your like, all right, this is what I want to be at when I'm this age. This is where I want to be at when this year starts. Or are you kind of just taking your career where it takes you?
I mean, at first, when I very first started amateur MMA at like 19 years old, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna finish everyone in 10 seconds, and then I'm gonna go straight pro, straight to. But now I'm just like, I need to enjoy the process. I feel like more because like if like I try to rush, that's when I've had my unsuccessful fights. So I'm like, okay, I need to fight right away, you know. But if I just take my time, I my coach, if I just listen to my coaches, I feel like they know what's best for me. But like I feel like the time will come. I feel like I haven't had an injury yet, which is amazing. So I just been getting better and better. But maybe like mid 20s, early 20s. I just turned 21 a month ago, so I got a while in my career.
Well, hey, happy very belated birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
What was your birthday by chance?
November 25th.
November 25th. Nice. So very close to Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure you had a
Yeah,
lot of good eats. But and
yeah.
you actually had fought pretty close to that day, I believe, right? The 19th was your fight night, or am I mistaken?
I fought the 17th of December and then October
October. You did fight in
21st.
October.
21st.
No,
Yeah.
you fought on October. Okay, so you had that, but still, I mean, you've had two fights for the 559 fights, and then you're having another fight coming up here in January 21st for the middleweight
Yeah.
championship. You've been extremely active in 2022. I believe you've had 5 fights, and I mean,
Yeah.
you've been pretty successful in all of them. So it's what would you say has been the main component? What has been your conditioning? Has it been your ability to just is it been your drive? Like what has exactly been pushing you to just been going after it? Because I mean 5 fights in 1 year is that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like getting making sure I'm rested cuz I was at a point in like again like 2 years ago I was trying to train 3 4 times a day, not sleeping, just trying to be like, "Oh, I got to do this," and then I go into fights and my body is just like destroyed. I realized very recently like I need to rest my body. Like I need to nap. I need to do ice baths. Like I discovered that all very recently, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this I could train 3 times as hard with like twice as less training. But like it just I feel like that's been working out so far.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's definitely translated to the octagon, and I'm pretty sure hopefully it's going to transition on the 21st. I'm hoping to go catch that
Yeah,
fight actually, but
it's
is
gonna be
this?
good.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I watched a couple of the other guys' fights as well. I wouldn't know the guy's name off the top of my head, but I mean, obviously watching you're a great grappler, and I know he's a little bit more of he likes to kind of mix it up a little bit. But I mean, even
Yeah,
with your exchanges, like you still it's gonna be a great fight. That's all I got to tell the
yeah,
fans.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
all I,
yeah. It's gonna be good. I'm
but
excited.
yeah, is this so for this fight, for this matchup, you're gonna be fighting in a different promotion. Do you feel like after this fight is a pro push in the works for you, or are you kind of looking to defend this middleweight championship, the Camo State middleweight championship, and continue your amateur career?
So what I'm gonna do after I get all the belts or the belts, I'm gonna go on a vacation first because I've been nonstop with these 3 fights in a 3 months, 4 months thing. But then after I'm gonna talk to my coach. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna say, hey, I have to listen to my coaches, but we're gonna sit down. We're gonna say, hey, is it time or like should we go one more? Like we're gonna probably maximum 2 more, 3 more amateurs. But if we think we're ready, we're ready. If my coach says I'm ready, I'm all in.
Yeah, no, I feel like you're definitely getting closer and closer to that push, and hopefully your
Yeah,
coaches are um feeling that same way as well, because that would be absolutely awesome to be able to see you developing in your pro, and I'll be like, hey,
yeah.
I gotta speak to that guy, and
And then
um
and then pro, I could also throw my elbows on the because when I'm always on top, people. I could throw elbows because people are like, "Oh, you're just laying on them." I'm like, "Okay, I could punch, but when I go pro, don't the elbows are gonna
Yeah, the
come."
elbows are. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
why I tell a lot of people too. And the amateurs compared to the pros, there is little different rules that a lot of fight fans you have to know the rules in order
yeah,
to really understand, because you're not gonna, if you just go to an amateur fight and then go to a UFC fight, you're gonna be like, for example, the elbows on the ground, like those,
yeah,
that's something that goes over a lot of people's heads. And I remember even during the fight, a lot of people were mad. I'm like, dude, you guys got to realize he's got to win. Like, at the end of the day,
yeah,
you're a fighter. You got to try and win the matchup, and that's
yeah.
what it comes down to at the end of the day. But to talk further on your fight career, your nickname on Instagram, or I seen you had a picture of the Milk Boys. It's a little
Oh yeah.
interesting. I was a little interested. So could you tell us about that a little bit more? Kind of go into it. See,
It's just basically a group that we in the coat when we were wrestling because there wasn't much places, so we were just able to wrestle in the summer. But it's with like Benil Darush, Spike Carlisle, um, this guy that was a finalist in wrestling. So it's just a group pretty much. We just like to drink milk and like we're saying, oh, it's the best at recovery, milk and honey. Like it's just a little thing, but because milk's good at recovery, but that's about it.
that is
Yeah,
something I can attest to, because I do remember my fitness coaches, and even throughout college, everybody was like, chocolate milk is the perfect good post
it
workout or
is.
whatever. I'm like,
Yeah,
it is a really good post workout. So
yeah,
I'm definitely on train with the Milk Boys if I'm allowed to be.
yeah,
So, um,
yeah, for sure.
so just a couple of last things for you, Joaquin. Outside of your fighting career, I'm pretty sure you have other passions and other things that like you like to do. What would be something fight fans maybe don't know about Joaquin Garcia that you would want them to know?
Um, Nothing much. I'm just a regular guy that loves fighting. Play some video games now and then. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I'm a wrestling coach too, though. I'm a wrestling coach for my old high school. I enjoy doing that. It's pretty fun. So yeah,
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, giving back to your community, I feel like that's a goal for every single person that is trying to go to a higher aspiration in their career. Just
yeah,
because why wouldn't you want to help out somebody that you used to look like,
yeah,
or you used to resemble, because I'm pretty sure when you're helping those kids out, you're like, oh my gosh, that kid reminds me of me when I was 15,
yeah.
or that kid reminds me
Exactly.
of me as a senior. And I mean, hopefully they can also have that same success that you had in your wrestling career and that you continue to have in your amateur career, and hopefully further on. But I mean, that's something that's absolutely, that's amazing, and I'm glad that
Yeah.
you're also out doing that. But is is for video games and sports, do you maybe have another sport outside of MMA that you like? I see that you're kind of a football fan. Are you maybe into any other sports besides football and MMA?
I like I like any sport. Real mostly, I could watch baseball. I could watch soccer. Somewhat soccer. I watch football, basketball. I really like the Lakers. But yeah, I like sports. I first before I wrestled, I actually played football, but and then I made the transition to wrestling. But yeah,
See, no, when I seen you at first, I definitely got that football vibe. You gave me that like
yeah,
football player, especially the way your body. I was like, oh yeah, this guy for sure could have been D end in high school,
yeah. I
or
played. I used to play DN. Yeah,
call me a
yeah,
talent evaluator, I guess, right?
yeah.
But no, I mean that's pretty funny that I was able to name that. But last question here for you. Anybody that you would like to thank, um because I mean, I'm pretty sure on this journey you've had a lot of people that have just helped you out and made you into a better fighter as a whole, or made you into a better person. So is just there anybody that you would like to thank in this interview, or anybody that you want to shout out?
I like to shout out either two people. My dad, because he said, son, like you're gonna play football. You could be good, but like if you just stay with wrestling, you're gonna like your cousins were in the UFC, your brother was in the UFC, like You need to wrestle, son. And then my brother, who convinced me to fight in the first place, because he's a fighter himself. And then yeah, so my brother, my big bro, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I'll actually, if you could go into that a little bit more with your family, because I do remember you speaking about your father a little bit post fight after the win against Taylor this past
Yeah.
December. How would you say your father and your brother, I mean, his fighting career, how would you say those have both played your into your career? You know, I mean, obviously that's kind of influenced you, but have those words been like deep sunken into you?
Yeah. So like I was like my dad just always driving me to like wrestling practice. Like I would like or like he'd be like, I'm like, dude, I'm tired. Like I don't he's like, no, we're going to wrestling practice, going to wrestling practice. And then you seen my fights. Thank goodness I went to wrestling practice. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. And then your brother, you said that he was a UFC, he had a UFC career or an MMA career. Did you
Yeah,
maybe
he
want to
was.
go in?
Yeah, he fought on the Dana White's looking for a fight in the Cabo one. He won his fight. He had two really good fights in the UFC, and then yeah, so he's a UFC vet. And then my cousins are actually the Pettis brothers. The so
Oh, okay. The
yeah,
Showtime. Okay, there we go. The
Showtime and
Wheaties.
Sergio. Yeah, so it's just a family thing. So he's like, oh, son, it's in the family. Like you gotta.
Yeah, no, those guys are definitely some badass. Those are some badass
Yeah.
MMA fighters. I'm pretty sure they've when you guys all kick it around the family bonfire, there's some good brawls, you know? Some good sparring
Oh
sessions.
gosh. Yeah, they're in Milwaukee, but yeah, they're still my family. Yeah, and then, but my brother, yeah, my brother for sure. He's been a big like part of that. He's like because he started wrestling. He's like, you're gonna wrestle, so it all went together. It all worked out well.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely amazing. And I thank you so much for your time. Sorry to berate you with these questions. You know, you're just
No, you're good.
yeah, you got an awesome story, Joaquin, and I definitely am hoping the best for you. And make sure you guys catch him on his fight on January 21st, correct? It's gonna go
Yes,
ahead and be
21st.
yeah, it's going to be a big matchup. I'm very excited for it. You know, I'm pretty sure a lot of other fight fans are excited for it as well. Um, did you want to go ahead and give a little bit more information on the fight? I know it's KFL 54. It's
Yeah,
Garcia versus Babian, right? And then
yeah,
um
baby.
um so the general admission is how much and do you know
I think
exactly?
I think it's 45 general admission, 60 VIP, and then it's in the Metroflex gym. And and then that's about it. Yeah, it should be go watch me go in there, do my thing, come out with some belts. You know, it should be fun.
Yeah, and that is going to be at the Metroflex Gym in Hawaiian Gardens. I just wanted to go ahead and clarify that
Yeah,
for fight fans. If they're looking to go ahead and head out there on January 21st, go ahead and watch Joaquin Garcia face off against Babi, and that's going to be an absolute banger of a matchup. And I'm wishing the best for you, and I'm hoping that you have a very fruitful MMA career.
thank you, man.
That is all from us, fight fans. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.